Hello everyone and welcome to the chat with Joelee. So I'm having some leftover rice with peas and I put a lot of percent seasoning in it. I just want some water in my mug. See? It says be silly and I would be one of the most silliest girls that you can find. Um so I'm being silly right now. I have the Eiffel Tower. So and it's just saying, oh welcome to Paris, I said it so. Um it's a wonderful day, beautiful season. Um, we're moving into Q4. We're moving into a brand new season, the fall season. Summer is coming to an end. The summer solstice is coming to an end, and we're moving into what is called an equinox. So you have the summer solstice and the winter solstice, and then you have the spring and fall equinox. I think that's what it is. So one sees when um, the days are longer. That's the solstice. And then, you have the equinox when you have an even day and night. So that's thing. So we are moving into the equinox and moving out of solstice. The seasons are really, really wonderful. I love all the seasons, but, for what they bring, I love fall for what it brings. I love winter for what it brings. I love summer for what it brings. And I do love spring. Every season there's something different that's going on. In the spring, everything's blooming and growing and everything looks so beautiful and nice. And I love that about spring. And then the summer, the sun is so hot. And the vibrancy of the summer, is just radiating good vibration and good energy. So I love that about the summer. And then the fall is just the colors, the beautiful um maple leaves and the orange and the greens, and just give me a warm fuzzy feeling inside. And the winter is just like, let me just relax and things like that. And with these seasons, sometimes we have to align ourselves with the season. The winter is about relaxing, reviewing. So you're a business person, you're in business. The winter season is winding down. That's the busiest season of all, the sales season, but then it's also winding down. You do your taxes, you review your year, you plan and you prep for the coming year or the coming season, which is the spring season, when everything is back up and lively. So in saying this, or in saying that, we have to know our season. For me, this season right now, like, this is my season, the fall season. So yeah, this is my season right now, and it's the time when it's the money making time right now. So it said that you just really have to know our seasons. We can't just be doing the same things throughout the entire year or with the same intensity. That's what I want to say. So we can't approach every season with the same intensity. For me, the most intense season for me is the fall, not the fall, the summer season is the most intense season for me. The spring is when, I'm coming out of the slow season and I'm going into that creative season. And then the summer is when, it's eye promotion, eye marketing, it's very, very intense. It's always so intense for me because I'm preparing myself for the other two seasons that are coming up, which is the fall season and the winter season. And you already know, the winter season goes on until what? February, January, February? No, it goes on until March. So for me, I like to say I don't go by the year, I go by the season. So even in 2025, I am still in that winter season. And I think that's one of the best ways of the planner year um, or now to set our goals and approach life is by the season instead of the year, because I really think that the year robs us of some of that I want to say reaping and planning, prepping. It robs us of some of that because everybody is thinking that January is the new year. It's not. If you're working off the season, March is the new year. End of um end of winter, which is in March 21st, March 20 roundabout there, is the end of the season, the year, if you want to say it. And then the new year begins in spring. So that's one of the good ways or the best ways to look at life, especially for productivity and high performance. If you're a person who's thinking about productivity and to take yourself off clock time and to think about events and stuff like that, when is the next event? How can I plan ahead? How can I prep myself for the next big thing? Setting your goals, the goals should be that event. What are you prepping yourself for? So for me to look at life that way and to approach my productivity system that way, it better for me in terms of performance. It keeps me calm. It reduces anxiety. It reduces stress. I have more time to do the important things, and my effort is, spread. It's widely spread. When I'm just thinking like, oh my goodness, it's the end of the year. The end of the year for me, I'm thinking like, it's 3 months left in this year. But if I'm thinking season, I'm like, I have 6 months. You understand? So right there, I give myself 3 extra months, thinking season. If we're thinking about the year and we're like crunch for time right now because it's almost December, it's September, October, November, December, 3 months or 3.5. And if you're thinking that, that's it, that the year, you're going to be so crunch for time, you're going to be feel so pressured. And I feel like the year put unnecessary pressure on us because it does not give us enough time. You understand? So from season to season, which is spring to the next spring, that's a year, if you want to call it that, right? And that's the best way. If you're in business, if you're about productivity, if you're about reaching your goals, if you're about planning your life and structure your life with systems and habits and stuff like that, this is one of the best ways to do it. By aligning ourselves with the season. You have to use nature as your best, guide and as your best teacher when you are thinking about productivity. So if we're going to step away from the norm then, or the usual way of doing things, because I'm all about, do what works for you. You can't do what everyone else is doing because not every system works for everybody. For me, I know that the general system does not work for me so effectively. I don't feel product like I'm producing. I don't feel like I'm performing. I just feel like I'm running around and doing what everyone else is doing. I don't get a lot done. I don't reach my goals. With my vision in mind and stuff like that. But for me to really reach my goals and to plan effectively, I have to take myself off the wider system and put myself in a system that works for me. And everyone needs a system, a smaller system, a personalized system that works for them. And, that's one of the things that I help to create as a coach, as a business coach, as a lifestyle coach, as a person in marketing and finance and stuff like that. One of the things that I help to create is a system for yourself so you can have balance and you can, move in your life with calm and grace and, with a lot of peace and ease. All of us want, to live a balanced lifestyle. All of us want freedom. All of us want, that life that says, yes, I'm living on purpose, I'm feeling really, really good, I'm getting to all my goals and I feel fulfilled, I have time for my family, I have time for my friends, I have time for my husband, I have time, for anybody who needs my time, and I can serve myself, I have time for myself, I have time for my clients, I have time to promote, I have time to market, if you're going to live in the broader system, then there's not going to be enough time. You're always going to be crunched for time. You're always going to feel crammed. You're always going to feel stressed. You're always going to feel overworked. You're always going to feel burnt out because you don't have enough time. You are working against the time. When you allow time to work for you by creating a system, you know and that small habits, habits create systems, right? And then you go to, the plans and stuff like that. But when you align yourself and create a system that works for you, that's when you will find the balance that you need. That's when you will have the freedom that you need. That's when you will feel like your life is really, really coming together. You have time to focus on the things that are important. You have time to give to your kids. You have time to give to your husband. You have time to give to your friend. You have time to give to your hobbies. You have time to travel. You have time to go on vacation. You have time to get to your goals. You have time to do so many things. No, and I'm creating that for myself and living it for myself and realizing how easy it is when we manage our mind, because when we are on systems now, we're not just managing time, or working against time. We are managing our minds. We are creating well-being, we're creating health, and we're creating wealth. So this is one of the ways where we really generate wealth, right? Is by creating system. We have to look at our lives, right? We have to keep examining, we have to keep reviewing, we have to keep analyzing, we have to keep assessing every step of the way. We have to keep assessing. We have to do what's well for that's um important for our well-being, you know and one of the things that are really important for my well-being is this: I have to do this. If I'm not doing this, then I am not well. So we have to find that one thing. I call it the linchpin. It's a thing that keeps us anchored. It's a thing that makes us feel the most fulfilled. It's a thing that drives us. It's a thing that gives us hope. It's a thing that allows us to love. It's a thing that allows us to lead and show up in our best selves, with our fullest potential. And this is it for me. You understand? I have to use my voice. So we have to find that one thing that allows us to show up authentically, genuinely, without reservation, as ourself, as our authentic self, and using my voice to lead, to guide, to help, to teach is one of those things, or is that thing for me. So you got to find your secret sauce, as I said. What is that one thing? What's your why? A lot of people say your why, your reason, but a lot of it took me a while to find out what my why is, from you know examining life, or approaching life from that standpoint. Like, what's my why? And I had to do a lot of writing and self-assessing and internalizing, and stuff like that. So it's not so much about the why, because people get confused on, oh my goodness, what's my why, what's my purpose, and stuff like that. It can really have you jittery all over the place, because oh my god, if I don't have a purpose,